Recorder?
Okay.
On a pole. So you are the boom operator, dude.
Like
And so there came a point in our evolution when we didn't guide life by just trusting our instincts, and had to think about it, and had to purposely arrange and discipline and push our lives around in accordance with foresight and words and systems of symbols, accountancy, calculation, and so on. And then we worry. Once you start thinking about things, you worry as to whether you've thought enough.
Grab a hold, take my hand and follow me. Where we're going, there are things for the eye to see. When we're over there, you'll feel it all around. Let it all come through, our love for you. There ain't a thing that will frighten you. This peace of mind flooding all over you. When you whistle loud, the clouds will spin to sound. Over and around, it shakes all of the proud. All of the proud.
We have Jim, who is going to be interjecting witticisms.
Come to this place and visit.
And then we got Zach and Mike floating around doing video.
I came for the free stickers.
Me too.
And this is Eliza, as usual. So we're here with Rob and Bobby, who's floating around. Bobby is the guy.
Look at this piece right here for the brake. Right. Look at the lightness drilling for the race bike. This is a Moto Devil. Incredible bike. Prototype, sand cast, everything. Very crudely built bike because of course it was going to be crushed. All the race bikes were crushed, so the independents didn't get them. After the war they started with 50cc, 75cc, 175, and then started racing. They grew up on Vespas, and Europe really got around. When the roads were all blown up after all the bombs, they got around on two wheels. America had big cars then. We weren't blown up. We didn't have to go to the market with a basket for our bread. The Europeans had to. They didn't have cars. They couldn't afford cars. So motorcycles in Europe just were so important. In that degree. Well, number one, I'm going to show you this bike. This is a factory twin cam. I believe they made only 5 of these. This is number 3. This is pure art. These fairings, this is a dustbin fairing with a tailpiece that was very fast, of course, on the track. But if it got into windy situations, it was a sail. So it would take the rider off the horse and kill him. So these kind of fairings were outlawed in 1957. But it's pure art, it's amazing. And if you look at what's inside with a twin cam, look at the motor. You can't see that, but we're talking about one of the prettiest motors, especially from the far side. Right. And we don't get to see that, but the factory teams, look at that motor.
Right? How cool.
Jim, isn't that beautiful?
Yeah,
it's pure art.
It's pure art. So, well, you know, it's kind of that thing that the function is so good that because it's so good, it's beautiful art by
Show it off.
Right? Fabulous.
That's why I have some of the bikes with the fairings off so you can see them.
How cool.
Was this going to be a resto?
Oh God, no! It is
We're not touching
as is.
Okay.
Yeah. See the value, remember? I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose that and make it look like the other bike.
And I like the giant fat welds on the engine case.
Oh yeah, right up here, and there are no numbers on the case. It's exactly the size of the original Harley building, the garage where they built their first Harley, this size. I didn't realize that when I
Now
built
we
it.
should say we're in what, a 10 by 6 15 maybe, what?
Yeah, 10 by 15.
10 by 15 wood shed, which really, I love this room because it really gives you the feel of back in the day.
Yes. I
Wow.
found this in a barn in Austin, Nevada on the 50. I was at a bar and a guy saw my t-shirt and said, "You like British bikes?" So we went up and I bought this bike from this giant gold miner. He was huge. Look at him on the
Wow.
left. He was like 6'8". No brakes.
It's charred.
Yes. It burned to the ground. It used to be candy apple red. It's an outlaw bike built in 1970, probably after a road crash. It was built up and then unfortunately caught fire. Maybe it was Lucas, we don't know.
Well, I will say it shares great burning up in flames history with the original Easy Rider bike, which also blew up in flames.
Oh, yes.
So
Well,
it's
but this one runs.
Yeah.
I rode this. Man, was frankly the most dangerous race. You talk about Italy, but today it's the remaining most dangerous race in the world. And there was a gentleman who was OCD. He campaigned this bike right here for at least 5 years. I'm still getting history on it. And it's 500 makes. Excuse me, it's a Gold Star. This exact bike holds the record still up until maybe this year it broke in August for 99.3 average.
Average speed, no kidding.
Which is an average.
Right, yeah, no, I get it, yeah.
And he ended up with a serious health problem and ended up sick. His last race was at 14 and he died, unfortunately, this year.
And another piece of art. I mean, I'm
And
just
it's absolutely art.
admired, just drooling over the whole thing.
So somebody told me to talk to one of the county administrators, and it was a sad story. You know, the house was being auctioned, and he was behind in debt. But all of this was in his house. So I started to go over and talk to the administrator. It was a closed bid, and I bid way over the second bid. But for me, Ron Helen right here, this gentleman, I needed, everybody knew him, Gold Star Ron. He only ran this bike in his...
Are you getting this restored, or do you?
This has been restored. The reason, as I said, for me, I have to pick my Harleys carefully because I don't really ride Harleys at this point. I did in the past, they're great bikes, but I tend more to the bikes that carve canyons. This is such an iconic bike in American history. It's still winning races 15, 18 years later. This bike raced Pikes Peak in the summer. And of course, I had to have it. It had a different, I had to have a different, it has a different tail, which was up in the barn find room.
The shovelhead?
Explain that.
We saw that in Solvang.
Oh my God.
All right.
We saw that bike in Solvang.
You did
No.
this one.
We showed a picture of the garage.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay, this.
So we have to explain, this is a Chinese knockoff of a
It's
Russian
two,
knockoff
a knockoff of a German.
of a German.
So it's two knockoffs past 1937. In Germany, a side valve. I think it was an R, I don't know, 42 or whatever. So the Russians grabbed two of these, took them to Russia, repurposed them, and made the Russian equivalent of the German equivalent. And then after a bit, they went through World War II. Then the Chinese grabbed a couple of the Russian ones, took them to China, and made the Yangtze, the longest, the Yellow River, the longest river.
Nice, you you pick the one bike you can buy at the flea market.
Yeah, you can buy these all day long. I bought it in trucking a garage sale just because it's...
Do I look crazy or what?
No, you can ride that.
That is so cool.
It's about $1,000 bike, man.
That's so awesome though. I love the little mini
Isn't it
chopper.
great? It's a Chinese chopper.
It feels pretty solid.
Why is it here? Well,
Right.
you're starting to know me now. Now you know why it's here.
Mike, make an offer. You might get it.
So this thing came out, and to me it's a really pretty paint scheme. It's just a gorgeous bike. The sound of it, 25,000 volts of electronic ignition. When I first saw this bike, it just screamed. It was a triple, it was two-stroke, it was pretty, and it wasn't a lot of money. And so I went looking for a used one, and I found this bike from a soldier from Ohio. The license plate's still in the barn find
And
shed, and
you
I bought
didn't-
it used.
So this is a 69.
1969, first year, Kawasaki. It's top speed. It was the fastest bike sold in America at that point. They said it did 120 miles an hour.
So it's an H1 Mach 3.
H1 Mach 3.
Triple. This
Sweet
is-
triple. And when you fired it up, it was low on the revs up until about 5. We were recently, and I remembered once you hit about 5,000.